Hey there, Rambler fans, and welcome to the Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Mary Sugden, joined alongside by Pat Luongo. Well, we took the summer off, but we're back from break with tons of Loyola news, features, and segments for the exciting season ahead.
Later on in the show, we'll have a preview of Loyola's fall sports, and you'll find out which club sport is looking towards bigger things in the near future. But our top story of the day is men's soccer, who is still looking for their first win. The Ramblers were in Lincoln Park this past Tuesday to play their crosstown rivals, DePaul. Junior midfielder James Howe put the Ramblers ahead 1-0 before halftime, but DePaul snuck 2 goals past senior goalkeeper Peter McEwen in the second half to down the Ramblers by a final score of 2-1. They have 2 more out-of-conference games against IPFW at home and on the road at Eastern Illinois before the Horizon League schedule kicks into action. The Ramblers' first game in the new look Horizon League is on September 22nd in Valparaiso, Indiana, the site of Loyola's underdog conference championship run last year. Loyola will play last year's regular season Horizon League champions, the Valparaiso Crusaders. Stay tuned to this week's Sports Locker for an exclusive interview with team standout sophomore forward Andrew Raymonds.
We turn now to women's soccer. Senior forward Anna Claudia Michelini earned Horizon League Offensive Player of the Week after scoring the game-winning penalty kick in Loyola's 2-1 overtime victory against Yale. Michelini kept her scoring momentum alive with a penalty goal in the 33rd minute of Loyola's 2-1 win over Western Michigan. The Ramblers have yet to begin conference play, but are 3-4 overall. The conference play begins on Friday, September 21st, when the Ramblers will host Cleveland State at 7 p.m.
Women's volleyball got off to a hot start this season, but a recent swing on the West Coast has cooled their play. After starting off 5-0, the team has lost 5 straight contests, including a close one to 8th-ranked Stanford. This weekend is a huge one for the Ramblers. Not only is it an opportunity to get back on the win column, but they'll finally play their first ever games in the newly refurbished Gentile Arena after a 1-year stint in the Hallis Rec Center. They host the Rambler Classic, playing Chicago State and USC Upstate as tune-ups to their big-ticket matchup against DePaul.
The women's golf team was off to a sterling start, taking first at both the Windy City and Green Bay shootouts. The Ramblers, however, ended their winning streak after dropping to 8th at the Green Bay Fall Invitational on September 11th. The Ramblers have the week off before heading to the south side for the CSU Cougar Invitational on September 17th.
Baseball season is winding down, the NFL just kicked off, and Loyola Athletics will be in full swing in the coming weeks. With storylines developing left and right in the pros and here on campus, we'll take the pulse of Rambler country during this week's debate on the Weekly Ramble.
Welcome to the Weekly Ramble. I'm Nick Amatangelo, joined by Joe Flaherty and Brendan Bond. Today's topics are soccer, Sox, Strasbourg, football, and basketball. Question 1. Will the men's soccer team make it a return trip to the NCAA tournament this year? Yes or no?
Look, I'm saying yes, and you saw that picture down there of Peter McEwen. They're going to ride his shoulders all the way in net into the tournament once again.
I'm going to say no. They're already 0-4 right now. It's looking for that first win. They're without senior midfielder Eric Knock for the season, torn ACL. It's a big loss for the team. I'm saying no.
Where's the faith?
All right. They say 62% say no.
Whatever.
Rambler Nation has spoken, and they don't think that the soccer team's going back to the championship. Joe, I'm sorry, but Brendan gets the point.
Whatever.
Next question. White Sox have a single-game lead heading into today. Will they win the AL Central, or will it be the Tigers taking it from them?
No. The White Sox are not taking the Central. They're not winning the wild card either, because the Tigers have won 12 of 17 against the White Sox. That trend's going to continue. Cabrera's not going for that.
But I'm pretty sure today is the last day that the Sox and the Tigers play each other during the season. So the Sox don't have to play the Tigers the rest of the way. They have to play all the other teams in baseball who they can easily beat. I'm going to say they win the division. They hold off Detroit.
Tigers have a lot easier schedule, though.
Rambler fans say...
Tell me what they say.
They say no. They say
That's
that
right.
the Sox are not making the playoffs.
That's
I disagree with that.
I disagree with that.
Moving on.
Biased.
Brendan does not get the point. Joe gets the point. Moving on. Question 3. Nationals shut down their ace, Steven Strasburg. Good move, bad move? What are your thoughts?
I don't know where to start with this. You're shutting down your franchise pitcher, and he's the most dominant, not the best, most dominant pitcher in the National League. What kind of message is that sending your team?
I'm saying, you say he's a franchise pitcher. This team's built for the long haul. They want Strasburg healthy and around. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. They're good enough. They have the deepest pitching rotation and bullpen. So they definitely have the pitching, the arms to like handle the playoffs without Strasburg. I say it's a good decision.
Completely healthy, though. I mean,
All right, they say no. They wanted him shut down. I can't disagree with them.
that's right.
Brendan, sorry, Joe takes the lead. Moving on, question 4. Bears won their first game.
Bears.
Packers lost theirs. Who's winning the NFC
Go
North?
Bears!
How are you going to go against the Bears? I mean, they have an offense for once. Like, when does that happen? Never.
I know. I mean, seriously, the Bears. Green Bay's gonna be good. They have a good offense. The Bears have the best complete team in the NFL. Coaching staff, special teams, defense, and now finally that offense.
And the fourth phase.
Yeah, the fans.
And, of course, being in Chicago,
Bears.
The Bears.
they
Go
agree
Bears.
with you.
Ditka.
Both of you guys get the points. 3-2 heading into our final question. Men's basketball team had a rough go of it last year. Will they exceed 10 wins this season?
They definitely will because they played in that international tournament and they went 3-1. Jordan Hicks, if he could stay healthy, fifth-year senior, he could put it together with all the new freshmen.
I'm saying not only do they exceed 10 wins, I say they go well above it, over 500 this year. The key piece for them, Coley Payne. He's going to push the tempo on offense. They finally have a point guard. They're going to be able to run faster, be more explosive on offense. I say they go well over 10 wins.
And the Ramblers agree
There's
with
the
you.
faith.
63%. 63, the year of our NCAA tournament. Maybe
Championship
again
wins.
this,
Yeah.
maybe again this
I
year.
see what you did there.
Joe, Brendan, both of you guys get the points, but Joe's got 4. So that means he's your winner today.
That's right.
I'm done.
See you
I'm
back
done.
next.
Get used to it.
We'll see you back next week. Back to the desk.
With classes back in session, that means one thing here at the Rambler Sports Locker, the start of the Loyola athletics season. Megan Carabelli, Courtney Griffin, and Benita Gingerella give us a preview for the fall season of Rambler athletics ahead.
It's time for back to school, which means back to fall sports. The Ramblers will be competing on courts, fields, and fairways across the country. So let's take a look at the fall 2012 season. This is the first year that the women's volleyball team will be playing in the newly renovated Gentile Arena. The team is led by senior transfer Anna Etchison, who currently has 131 kills. First games in the Gentile Arena will be played this weekend against Chicago State and USC Upstate. The highlight of men's and women's cross country this season will be the Sean Earl Lakefront Invitational at Montrose Beach on Saturday, September 29th. Juniors Olivia Clark and Megan Janizek have led the women's team so far this season, while the men have been led by sophomore Sam Penzenstadler. For the women's golf team, junior April Ohlendorf has clearly emerged as a standout player for the team through their first 3 events this year. Having played in only one tournament so far this season, finishing 8th out of 13, it's hard to tell where the men's golf team will go. With an average score of 73, junior Nick Willenborg might be the key to success for the team. With a fairly young team, women's soccer is making a comeback. After scoring the game-winning goal against Yale last week, senior forward Anna Claudia Michelini has been named the Horizon League Offensive Player of the Week. Sophomore Andrew Raymonds is starting off the season right for the men's soccer team, with 3 goals in the first 6 games. The team is going through a bit of a rough patch after losing 5 of their last 6 games. However, their recent win against Roosevelt has the Ramblers looking forward to a successful season. For more information on how to attend these events, check out the Rambler Athletics website or follow us here on the Rambler Sports Locker. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Courtney Griffin.
In an urban area like Chicago, many club sports struggle to come up with the field space and resources to be a premier team. However, clubs from one sport look to overcome the odds and achieve an extraordinary goal this year. And that goal might surprise you. Steve Manny has the story.
Sean Earl Field, better known to Loyola students as Mertz Field, serves as a training ground for several of the school's intramural, varsity, and club sports teams. Tonight, the field is home to the men's and women's rugby teams, which will share it during an evening practice. Between the two groups, almost 80 players are here. But the problem is, the field is roughly half the size of a regulation rugby pitch.
We got maybe 28 new guys. I mean, the club's growing massively. And if we don't have the space to practice, we're not going to be able to teach them how to play properly. We're not going to be able to advance as a program.
Despite the team's current lack of resources, the clubs look for bigger and better things down the road. The men's team just brought in Sean Cooney to be their new head coach, and although he has declined to be interviewed, the team's president speaks highly of him.
He's brought like a new sense of organization and really tough practices so far.
What started out as a fun activity for a small group of students at Loyola has quickly grown into one of the biggest club sports the school has to offer. Now, they hope to be sponsored by the school as a varsity sport in only a few years' time.
If we could do that at Loyola, that would be great for bringing in talent and some excitement. I mean, we don't have a football team here, so maybe rugby can kind of take that spot.
There is reason to be excited. The Rambler teams both had strong showings last year and have yet to suffer a loss this season in their newer, tougher conference, which includes the nation's top teams and 2 others that are ranked. In fact, Hoyne Field, the home of the Ramblers' varsity soccer teams, has been open to rugby on a limited basis. Still, the clubs need some better players and increased resources and funding before joining a dozen other varsity programs in the United States. I'm Steve Manning reporting for the Rambler Sports Locker, and we'll keep you posted on this story.
1, 2, 3, Rugby football!
And as promised earlier, Amanda Crohan sat down with Andrew Raymonds, the sophomore captain of the men's soccer team. She found out how he's been able to score almost all of the Ramblers' goals this season.
Hi, I'm Amanda Crohan, and I'm here with Andrew Raymonds of the men's soccer team. Thank you for joining us, Andrew.
Sure, thanks for having me.
So you are in your sophomore year at Loyola, and you were named co-captain of the soccer team. What does that mean to you as just a sophomore?
I mean, it really means a lot coming in. After the first game we played Marquette, I didn't know up until we were in the locker room. He took out the captain's bands and gave them to me and James Howe. I felt pretty proud, but at the same time, they say that to whom a lot is given, a lot is expected. So I expect a lot of myself this year, and in the position we're in, hopefully I can help turn things around.
Even though you guys do have a losing record right now, you seem very positive about where the team is going. You obviously the team did very well last year, made it to the Horizon League Championship, but unfortunately lost an NCAA tournament against Bradley. But where do you need to go to get back to that position?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of parallels from last year's team to this year's team, and how we started last year. We didn't have necessarily the greatest not-conference schedule results-wise that we would have last year, but and I mean, even in the Horizon League to start off, we didn't have the greatest results, but we finished strong, and ultimately that's what we want to do this year. We want to continue in our. Well, I mean, we say we have 4 phases. We have our preseason phase, which is gone. We have the competitive phases, which we're in right now. We have our Horizon League phase, and then we have the championship phase.
Okay.
We want to continue playing well. We want to get some wins going into the Horizon League, which ultimately will put us in the Horizon League tournament. Hopefully we can do as well as we did last year there, get into the NCAA tournament, and I mean, this year we're looking to make it past the first round. We've been there before, we haven't made it past that first round game, and ultimately that's the goal this year.
Well, best of luck to you as well as the team, and hope you guys can get your first win tomorrow night.
I hope so too. Thanks.
Thank you.
The Sports Locker is not the only form of media that covers Rambler athletics here at Loyola. So here's a preview of what's upcoming in the sports section of next week's Phoenix, featuring sports editor Brendan Bond.
There's lots of exciting things happening in the Loyola Phoenix, especially in the sports section coming up this week. We had 2 big stories we're focusing on. One's a feature on senior midfielder Kristen Papierski for the women's soccer team. She's coming off an injury a year ago. The other big story is we have football at Loyola. Football club starting up at the end of the month. They had their equipment handout last week. We're going to have a big story on them. So make sure you pick up the Loyola Phoenix. It's on newsstands on Wednesday. And go to loyolaphoenix.com every day for new content.
So that'll do it for the Ramblers Sports Locker. Be sure to like our official Facebook page. And if you're watching online, click that subscribe button right above us and the like button right below us. You can also follow us on Twitter at LU Sports Locker and on Instagram at Rambler Sports Locker. So for everyone here at the Rambler Sports Locker this week, I'm Pat Luongo.
And I'm Mary Sugden. Thanks for stopping by the locker. Don't forget to turn out the lights.